Greetings everyone, it's Gryfer here. We're looking at the most recent vessel obtainable for coal with the Iwami, which is a Tier 9 Imperial Japanese battleship. The Iwami has been available as part of patch 11.6 or 8th of July of 2022. This vessel is based upon the A140 J3 super battleship that had a small number of smaller barrels. As you can see here, it's only got 4x2 of main battery guns and more effective dual purpose artillery and torpedoes. So she's got an Akazuki per side, there's her AA mounts, and there's her torpedoes at the rear. If you're doing a captain build, I'll go through the captain build last. Now, survivability, she has just over 80,000 hit points, which isn't too bad. Like, there's only a couple that are higher than Masashi, Kisage, the Soyuz and her clone, and the FDG are higher. So she ranks fairly decently for survivability. Let's have a look at her armor. Now, her foreplate is 32 millimeters of armor thickness, same with her upper belt, and her deck is 50 millimeters, which is nice for the plunge fire. She only has a casemate belt armor of 356 millimeters, so don't sail broadside. You will absolutely get clapped into that citadel, as you can see through here. You got the citadel armor there, you'll get absolutely bit clapped. Looking at this vessel and after playing her, I really think one of her strengths is, you can see this aft end armor belt here, 229 above the waterline, 191 below it. This design really lends well for a kiting BB. You can see you can get most of those turrets onto bear. It's really nice from that aspect. You get the torps at the rear as well, so you can sit there rear in, and basically if a BB or a vessel tried to smack you through to hit your rear citadel, they would struggle. You'd be able to angle and bounce that effectively. So again, yeah, really good for kiting and angling away. Torpedo protection is at 37%, so being hit by torpedoes, you do mitigate a good chunk of that. So overall, good hit points for a Tier 9 BB. Again, very vulnerable to sitting broadside, so really don't sit broadside with her. Now, primary guns are 4x2 410mm guns. You may be familiar with these guns from the Izumo. The Izumo has 9 barrels. The Heisen has 12. As we can see here is our Izumo. She has the same caliber guns, 410mm, 50 10th year. If we go look at the Heisen, she has 4x3, so 12 barrels. Longer reload on the Heisen, but the Iwami, I'm using the reload module. With the lesser number of barrels, you fire 24.6 seconds, so well over 2 shots per minute. Where this boat gets interesting, if you're used to the key, you'll be used to this. I do have a secondary range module equipped, captain equipped. The equipment I've put on for the guns, so it's only on the captain skill, but secondaries with 1 perk to increase the range can go out, and with flags can go out to 9.2 kilometers. 100mm guns, 8x2, so that is an Akazuki per side on this vessel. You get 4 per side. The HE armor penetration pen is 30mm, so that will pen most cruisers and DDs at those tiers and actually hurt the BBs. You can put IFHE to guarantee that. I've only known one person to do that, but I leave it off and I still get great pen. Secondary armament, 3x3, 155mm, 11.4 seconds, a bit slow, doesn't pen as much armor, and 26mm of armor. Good damage though. So those are HE type, but 10% fire chance on the 152s and 6% with the 100mm. But these are spamming every 2.8 seconds, so eventually you'll get a fire with those, I believe. Awesome main battery firing range, 22.3 kilometers. The Iwami does not get access to a spotter plane, though her deck looks like it should. She does not get access to that. Now, we talked about the torpedo. She gets a 2x4 right at the stern here. Great rear torpedo arcs. Not so great forward firing ones. And we'll see that in a game replay that I will show you. 20 kilometer range. The detect on the torpedo, I think from memory, is 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 kilometers. 62 knots. And reloads about 150 seconds without any other perks, which is what I've left it at because it's not really a primary weapon. Max torpedo damage is just a smidge under 21,000 damage. So yeah, again, kiting out torp angles are awesome. Anti-air, this is where I think she shows her weakness. You get a lot of guns. You get the dual purpose 100mm and the whole smattering of 25mm. Now, damage by shell explosions, you get 8 number of flak bursts. Funnily enough, number of 100mm guns is 8. The flak is really where it's going to be at if you're going to be trying to defend from a CV. You get 8 bursts from 3.5 to 5.8k. Good range, decent damage at 1470, but the CV player has to be a flak muncher to fly through that. The continuous damage is pathetic. You can see here 284 with the short range, but hit probability is at 2.5 kilometers. Long range damage to 5.8 from that is 203. That's pathetic. If you're coming up with something like a against the FDR, that is just swatting it with nothing. Now let's have a look. Maneuverability, she's a tad slow at 29.6. You'll have BBs that definitely go faster than the Iwami. So be careful of that. She has a great turning circle radius, 880 meters, about 6th best in her class. Most vessels that are better than her only by a small margin, so she's got a really good tight circle. Rudder shift time is decent as well. Concealment, a bit of an issue. Detectability by sea here, you can is 12.9 kilometers for her concealment. Detectability after firing main gun is 22.3. Firing in smoke is 15.9, and detectability when the ship is on fire is 14.9. So you really don't want to be lit too much. 9.9, which is stock standard for planes, and assured detectability is 2 kilometers. Now for equipment. So protect the guns. I've done a DCP. I've done better gun dispersion or increased range. So max range of 22.3 Ks. Dispersion is 227 meters. And now that is only the max dispersion. That's not taking in the vertical or sigma. That's a calculation. But that value alone, I quite liked it. Propulsion mod for the BB, I like to go fast where I can. Concealment here, and as I said, reload. She only gets the 1 repair party, no other consumables. Now, this is the stock number of repair parties. 484 standard heal going for 28 seconds. Reload time is just under a minute and a half. 4, I think, is absolutely fine. I don't think you need to go for 5. That the emergency repair expert would provide you. So for a build, I would, for me myself, I did preventative maintenance, grease the gears. This next one, you could do any of them, but for the meme, I did the long range secondaries that made them go up to 9.2k, concealment, and the fire prevention because I don't like to burn. And if you're going to brawl, you don't want to be taking up too much damage from 2 fires in the middle. If you've got a 21 point captain, I would then do Adrenaline Rush. That gets everything loaded quicker. I've done basics of survivability, then to get rid of fires and flooding if you do take them, and then likewise to emergency repair specialists. That's neither here nor now. You could really take a gun feeder. You could do vigilance. There's so many. You could even drop basics and take on the IFHE, which would give your secondary gun here 37mm of penetration. So it really is a mixture. I've known players to not take fire prevention expert and then take the furious skill, so their main battery guns fire longer. It's really up to the player. Now, overall impressions, I initially, through testing before she was released, I did not rate this boat. I thought she was underwhelming, to be in all honesty. But after playing her in the live version, I have to admit that she's a lot of fun to play. Between the good, accurate guns, the meme secondaries, and the torps, she's a fun ship. She's a fun ship. She's the only true secondary torpedo Japanese battleship at tier 9. We're not looking at Yuki, a tier lower. So if you're looking at a fun vessel at tier 9, don't go past the Iwami. Now, for random battles, excellent ship choice. Knowing her limitations, she doesn't have hydro raid or any other gimmick. She only has repair parties. You'll see how this boat performs in a random game from my video shortly. Ranked, if it's at tier 9, well worth taking. Great guns at range. If you have to push in late game, you've got secondaries, you've got torpedoes. Well worth the investment. Clan battles, I personally don't think she's worth it. You've got boats like the Heathen that have more guns at that range, or that tier, sorry. There's a lot of good tier 9 BBs that you'd be pitting her against. Like if you pitted her against a Pommer, and yeah, she's got the torps, but they're more, you can use them in close, slow reload, so you could use it. She has some good cross-map ability at that 22.3 kilometer range, so you might see people take it, but it'd be interesting to see how she performs. Alright, so that's her base values and figures. Very pretty ship. Now, if you did purchase her, you do get the beautiful default Iwami permanent camouflage. So it will come with the economic boost with her purchase. And now we're going to take a look at her in a random game. Alrighty, so here is the Iwami in a random game. We are mid-tier, or bottom tier actually. We've got super ships, we've got a CV per team and a submarine. I'm divvied up with Everett and Fuzz from SCCC, Gearing Yami on our team. We've got a couple of cruisers in the Golden Line, Hindi and Brindisi, and a smattering of BBs. The team has a hack, a couple of BBs, cruisers, DDs and subs, so not fun all around. It is arms race and we are on the map Sleeping Giant. Not gonna lie, arms race so much better than Epicenter. The amount of people that did not understand that to win in Epicenter you had to be in the rings. I won't go on about that, but this seems to be a little bit better built for that. As with any tier 10 game, the initial battle, even with 22.3 kilometer gun range, is like I could have done differently. Rather than taking reload, I could have taken range, but 22 is really, I think, more than enough, especially with the way some people aim. Don't overextend yourself if you can't hit at those greater ranges. Biding my time. Shells go out. Navigator, he's turning in. Don't think they're really going to connect. He's turning in sharply. They are going to miss. Nice dodge there by the Burger. So we've got the two YOLOs here. One's staying back to cap, the other YOLO's pushing forward into the Burger. Yu Yang's a bit hanging back Des Moines as well. We do have CV focus on us. Indianapolis is... I don't know what he's doing, but he's beached there doing some long-range HE fire. CV detects our parlors. One pen, one ricochet. Burger's taking a little bit of damage. I think we'll take that trade. I aim just as I shoot there. If he kept going back, that would have hit nicely, but I think the Annapolis stops and goes forward. Now you can still see I'm going quarter speed here. Quarter speed, I'm not pressing W to get into secondaries. I still think this vessel early on, it is about her guns. Don't waste the guns. Don't throw away your hit points. And somehow I missed the Annapolis. Look at this, a fire here. Fuzz is coming in with the YOLO torps from the nose onto the burger, absolutely claps him, finishes him. The Des Moines got him in a bit of trouble. Yu Yang is lit as well. At this point I'm thinking, what will Fuzz do? He's got torps off on the Yu Yang, he takes care of the Yu Yang. 2 kills for YOLO, not bad at all. As you can see here, oh, there's a nice sit. 2 pens, 3 over. Half the Des Moines. Fuzz looks like he's about to ram him. He's at half health. Can he do it? Des Moines gets a diehard down to 14k. No biscuit for Fuzz. Aim too high there, 3800, and the Des Moines gets away. Or tries to. With Everett spotting in, and we've got a lot of cruisers going in north, this Des Moines not going to get away anytime easy. So we've got a few increased damage skills, as you can see. I do like these bit of random nature of arms race. There we go. So enemies down 3 ships at the moment. This eastern flank on 8, 9, 10 is, in all honesty, completely secured. The Yamagiri is running. The Annapolis, I have no idea where he is. And the CV is trying his best to really hunt down Everett as much as he can, but showing some, I don't know, CV, RNG skill. Everett dodges any interaction from the CV. To be honest, I don't know why the CV is trying to pick on him. Yeah, he's under 5k, but considering the amount of other vessels pushing, like the Brindisi, which has short range AA, you got the Vermont's got good AA, you got the Golden Line in the mid. There'd be so many other targets potentially he could be striking. Heck, even me, I've got terrible, in my opinion, AA unless you fly into the flak. Annapolis is coming out. Golden Line's actually wrecked him pretty hard. Yamagiri's still doing Yamagiri things. As you can see, the turn rate on this vessel is pretty nicely. Hold the brake. Those torps fell short, but she turns in she's very nimble. Even though I mocked my AA, as I said, if a CV flies through the flak, it will hurt. But if they dodge your 8 flaks, there's no continuous damage. Not sure what the Yamagiri's are doing here. Those shells are going to land well in front. He's slowing down and smoking. Wait, I lied. I got an overpen. Everett's still being focused. Even though we've got a heal and he's slowly healing up, the CV has a natural attraction to Everett's parlour over there. An inordinate amount of time fixated upon him. Now, I still haven't used my torps. We'll get to see those angles in a short period. Enemy sub takes down the Vermont. The Annapolis takes down the Marseille. So 4 down to the enemy. Look, it's not looking good for them. They got a few vessels on really low hit points. They did not get the heal buff that we currently have. So I'm at full hit points. Everyone else is getting their health up. Enter torpedo soup. Poor Everett, still being fixated by the torpedoes. Capital ship with lots of hit points that are being ignored over here. We're going to Marco Polo. The Annapolis has turned back around to engage. Yamagiri's torps look like they're actually going to get me here a little bit. Nice salvo there from the Yamagiri. I want my revenge. And I didn't get it. Boo! Go to the gunners. No allocation of sake to them this eve. There goes down the black. So we've got this game in the bag at this point. Well, we should theoretically. Now, I'm going to show you the fun part about the Iwami here. So we're finally in the secondary duel as my main guns are going to focus upon the hack. I've got a Fletcher within my secondary range here. I'm not even looking at them. I haven't even clicked upon them. Fletcher's at good health points. He's got the Yamagiri in front of him that he's engaging. There goes one set of Fletcher torps. This is hilarious. I'm not even looking forward. Skillfully dodge a set of torps. Very annoyed I didn't get the hack. Everett picks up the Yamagiri, but to be honest, with a bit of focus fire from the team and the secondaries, this Fletcher's going down super fast. There we go, CQE with the Iwami. Now, as you can see, the torp angles there, it's about halfway up. As I said, for a drive-by, she's actually going to be quite decent. Turning in there, the Marco Polo could not hit my sit. And there we go. Torpedo death from the Iwami. And funnily enough, Everett finally goes down to the hack. The hack gets its revenge. It sinks him with his torps. The enemy CV spent most of the game trying to secure him there. So 162,000 here. 3 kills at this stage. Nablus has been cheekily trying to... he got stuck nose in early on. He's trying to get away. 3 overpins, a nice ricochet. High caliber is up here for the Iwami. Again, this vessel is about her main guns. If you get into secondaries, they're worth it then. But don't, early on, don't just press W. There's a Pitadul, low hit point ship. I hit him with a penetration and gives me the complimentary Citadel. This A Gear's in a bit of a tough spot. He's actually taking out the Hindenburg. The British is charging him down. Between him and the sub, all hope is lost. Cap the center ring here. Are these shots too far back on the A gear? Yes, they are. Hopefully I learn from my misaim. Aim a little bit, give him a little bit more lead, a little bit more respect. 10k, here comes the salvo. Yes, another Citadel. Shouldn't have probably happened at that angle, but it did. 185,000. There's only enemy sub left. He really doesn't. I think we spot him here briefly, but you get the picture here. We really don't do too much to him from here further on. Looking at the end game, 185,000, 800,000 credits plus. 5 kills, a couple of secondaries, again not a lot, only when I had to really go in, and it was a fight of my choosing. I didn't get to show you how great she was at kiting, but pushing in like that against cruisers, she absolutely clapped. A range of achievements for myself and my division. In XP, we were bottom tier against super ships at 2,500, 5 kills. Look, again, for a fun boat, I really rate this vessel. Didn't do it early on, but if you want something different from what's out there for the Pommern, good accurate guns, fun secondaries and good long-range torps, give the Iwami a go. She gets my tick of approval. If you have enjoyed this content, please click the subscribe button below in YouTube or give me a follow on Twitch with the details in the description below. I'll see you out there on the seas. Do take care and stay safe.